come up here and look around. They worked all day today. They ran out of plywood. The place we were getting plywood from, 3 buildings due to ice. They're just about 20 minutes north of us.
Yep.
And their buildings caved in from ice. They literally, we got buildings literally falling down, flooding, all kinds of shit just north of us. Just the sheer weight. So they're bringing plywood in and out of Jackson, I think, for tomorrow. They've run out of wood in the building to put the ceilings in place. And we're to the point now picking out tiles and stuff. And the more I look, just the more you find and the further this goes. So we're finally just, I'll spend hours at night. I'll get home, do emails and shit. At 10 o'clock, start looking at materials and pictures and sinks and vanities and shit. And the more you look, just the fucking more confused you are. So we are hiring a interior decorator to come in and help us do the layout. Like, I know what tiles I want to use, but how we're going to merge them, where we're going to put them, stuff like that. So to do the layout on the upstairs bathroom, downstairs bathrooms, the kitchen especially, we're bringing somebody in that can put all that shit into a computer and send us, show us photos of what that's going to look like. So let's run in here.
And it's the end of the day for the work crew, not us. We're about to go back and do a few more hours.
We've got several more hours.
I usually run 8:45.
Yeah, but we were here till what? Almost 9:30 last night.
Yeah, you were. I
Just boxing orders.
Yeah, I left at 9:45.
Yeah.
The lacquer we want onto them.
Yeah, I had over 13 hours yesterday.
Yeah,
And then I don't have school tomorrow, so I'll have
Get you some paycheck money.
yeah 3 full days at least. I'm happy with it. I like it.
But
We just-
we do our own line. They're trying to get made, but so are craftsmade, which they won't tell you. You can get exactly what you want.
Yeah, they took some of the safety rail off.
To build with or what?
Hell, I don't know. I'm glad Lance ain't here. He'd fall in.
Oh yeah.
Walk right through it.
Yeah. That'd be just far enough to hurt real good.
Oh yeah.
Black door, no design in it. Fucking red lacquer. Glass with LED lights in them. So we're kind of at the point right now where we don't know what we don't know. We're at the point where we have to pick out floor finishes, tile, what we're putting on the walls, stuff like that. And we'll start out with a task so simple as what size is the kitchen to send over to the cabinet company so they can do the layout. But I don't even have that answer. Like, I don't know if we're going to run it on that whole wall. We've got an air return. Are we going to bring it out kind of in a U shape? Are we going to have an island? I mean, I know some of that stuff. So we have an interior design person coming in tomorrow. She'll get some measurements. We'll kind of just shoot some ideas back and forth, and she will put it in a computer program and then give us a couple of options for things like the kitchen layout, the bathroom. I know certain tiles that I want to use and certain materials, but we're not sure how to merge them and where they meet and different things like that. So we need to get kind of a game plan as to how we're going to finish this out. And then I don't want the offices to be completely badass, this lounge to be totally awesome, and then come over here and you've got fucking plywood. So we went with plywood because we've got some leaks in the building. We need to re-roof the building, and still, even every time it rains, we get a little bit of moisture in here. So we went with plywood rather than drywall. Mainly because I can get a sheet of plywood and I can fucking put that bitch back up there if I have to, whereas I don't have to cut and tape and do drywall work and have a bunch of gypsum and drywall floating around in here. It's easier just to vacuum up some sawdust if we have to than to fuck around with the drywall. That's why we went with this. We are eventually going to cover all of this. Temporarily we will paint it so that we can get up and running, and then we'll tackle one area, one zone, or one room at a time and outfit that room with tile or different wall coverings or whatever it is we're going to use. But the further forward we go, and the more I look, people tell me, well, go on the internet and just kind of get us some photos. The more I look, the more frustrating it gets because there are so many fucking options and you don't know what they're going to look like. So we've hired a person that does this to kind of guide us and help us with this a little bit. And frankly, I just don't have the time to do it. I get on the computer and 3-4 hours later, I still haven't. I got on there to order a vanity, and I've picked one out, and then you keep looking at more and more and more, and before you pull that trigger to buy it, you're still shopping for more options. 4 days later, I still don't have the damn thing. I've got 10 different vanities and 10 different shopping carts on 10 different websites. And you go local here and they just don't have any of that stuff. So you go to Nashville and you look at Home Depot, and every Home Depot and every Lowe's has something the other one doesn't. So we're just going to kind of give her some ideas of what we want and some different types of material samples, and she's going to come back with options that will work with that and kind of narrow it down. Just pay somebody to do that, to do what they do. So hopefully that'll streamline this a little bit. So here we are downstairs. The insulation company was back in here again today, putting in noise abatement insulation, and they were laying in one run. And I just got to thinking, I said, this is for noise, right? It's not for heat factor or temperature zones or anything. It literally is noise abatement. And the insulation is about that thick, right?
Yeah.
Said it'll go up to 8 inches.
It expands out. It's good size.
Yeah.
But we still had there's a gap in there. So I said, well, if this is for noise, and we've got one row in there, if we put 2 rows, will it deaden the sound more? And he said, oh yeah, definitely. I said, well, now's the time to do that. Like, we can't test this. Let's just overgun this if that's the case, and put double up in there rather than having to pull all this shit down when we find out it doesn't work. I'd rather have it too fucking quiet than not quiet enough upstairs. And he said, okay, well, we didn't have enough material to do that. I said, well, put the material in half, and they can at least skin the roof and get the lights in half of this building right now. So we've got this run and most of the next run. They just don't have any of that last third run over there with any insulation in it. So this way they can at least get that up, get some of these zones done, and get the lights in. The lights can't go in until the plywood's on the site, and the plywood isn't here. It was supposed to be here today. Just north of us, like we were talking about earlier, buildings, steel buildings, are literally just flat roof buildings are falling in. So they're not able to ship, they're not able to operate. So it looks like there's some plywood coming out of Jackson, which is about 45 minutes from here, next biggest city around here. So once they got the plywood, they can skin the plywood, then they can start putting their paint down. They've already been sanding walls, they've been puttying the seams, or filling the seams so they're more seamless. When we were in here earlier, they had some guys sanding it so they can do some paint, get some some little areas test painted. We can see how that's going to work. I'm not so much worried about downstairs. I wanted extreme durability, thus the plywood. If you get rain sideways, which we sometimes get here, like we just put in French drains, and the French drains are running fucking awesome until that motherfucker iced. And as soon as that ice hit, we had ice on all the gutters. The gutters were literally full of ice. And then the next day we had torrential downpour thunderstorms with the gutters full of ice. So all that rain ended up down. No matter what we did with all the work and shit, we still have the potential to have moisture in here. And that's why we ran plywood instead of drywall, especially down here. So we'll paint this up. We can change it out as we need to, but the main thing is just to cover these walls, hold the insulation in, keep rodents and stuff out of here, and just paint it white to reflect bright light. And that's what's happened. So insulation's up, waiting on plywood. Hopefully those stacks of plywood will be here tomorrow. They can start doing that. All the wiring's run. They're ready to put the lights up. All the lights, there's 4 fucking huge pallets of lights back there. Everything's on site. We're just out of plywood. That's what's holding us up, and hopefully that'll be taken care of tomorrow. Miss anything?
No, that's pretty much it for today. They did hang a ton of that noise abatement stuff, though. Like, they really did have a lot.
Dude, that's those same 2 dudes, man. Those dudes had that shit up before we were even back from the gym. Like, that insulation crew, they fucking move.
Are you cold?
A little bit.
It's winter.
Just a little bit.
You have jackets?
In the truck. Which is locked.
We're waiting on John.
As he performs the ritual.
Locked?
Yeah.
See my dirt bike track?
Huh?
My dirt bike track.
Up there?
All throughout here.
Yeah.
I've got tracks down. Like tire tracks.
Alright, I think it's unlocked now.
It is. I heard it unlocked. So you can't get your band-aid off.
I can't get my band-aid off, so it's been 3 days since my, or today's 4th day.
Just turn around, let's get it.
So the column's gonna pull my fucking.
Wait, that's not safe for YouTube. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Thank you.
Let's see it.
I'm not even much of a bleeder.